Welcome back to another Advanced Wars by Web replay review, and we've got a special replay review for you today for two reasons. Number one, you already know. Look in the corner, there he is. There's the bald brawler right there, Grimm. And who picked Grimm but none other than, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, so why don't you just say your username?
Athrithalix.
Athrithalix.
That's one we should have cleared up before we started. But
yeah, that's what an actual professional YouTuber would do. But we've got.
Sorry, my friends call me Arthritis. So.
Arthritis. Oh, okay. Well, we've got an amazing banger replay here on a 3-base mixed base map here on the Global League featuring Athrithalix and Polychate Girl playing as Jake. So Grimm, you know him, you love him. Units gain 30% attack but lose 20% defense, making him the Glass Cadence CO. And his normal power, Knuckle Duster, increases that bonus to 50%, and Haymaker increases that a bonus to 80%. Whereas Jake, look what Jake needs to do to even mimic a fraction of Grimm's power. Even air units gain 10% attack power, but only on planes, which there is a decent amount of planes pretty much on every map. But I think Cole is better on this map, but we can talk about that in a second. And then Beatdown, where Jake plays the drums on his opponent's face. Land indirects gain +1 range, and that planes bonus is increased. And Jake's superpower, Block Rock, increases his vehicle movement by 2, increases a land indirect range by 1, and increases that planes bonus to astronomical levels. So can you tell me your thoughts on this map and why you decided to go with the Bald Brawler?
So I think this is actually a map that Grimm has a place in. I know normally Grimm's a bit of a meme pick, or a lot of a meme pick, but I think it favors him in a way that most maps don't actually, because it allows you to make early gambits and get quick feedback, and that's because it's a small map, so interactions happening very quickly, and it's atomized. You have, a small handful of areas where the fighting's taking place, and for the, certainly in the early part of the game, those areas aren't really interacting very much, and I think that allows you to dictate with Grimm a bit. You want to pick an area and then dictate some good trades in that area, and because Grimm has that extra firepower, he gets better off of those trades than another CO might. So that's my feeling on picking Grimm on this map. There's a bit of a recon opening I like to use, which we'll see in a minute.
I got you.
And which plays into that strategy.
I got you. Someone tried to use the recon opening on me, but I was Sasha, so I was just able to build unlimited tanks. What's your thoughts about Cole on this map? Do you think Cole is like the meta pick in Tier 4?
I'm not sure. I think the movement power the small map movement power is very powerful, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of the fighting doesn't happen near those roads, so I don't think he's going to be getting those road toad bonuses.
Gotcha.
As much as you might on some other maps. But I do like movement. I can't remember, is Ada in Tier 0? Is he available on this?
I think he's Tier 3 on this map.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
They're doing a lot more
experimenting. Ada very strong, obviously. But yeah, I'm not sure Cole, because you can't get those 2 powers in a row, and I don't think you're getting those road bonuses.
Yeah, I'm not a big Cole fan either. I think Cole's like one of the ugliest characters, and I don't
my least played CO, I think.
Yeah, I don't like the Cole theme either. I'm playing one game as Cole. I have to turn the music off. But you know who has a great theme? Jake and Grimm. So let's turn the music up here. And hopefully the audio balance is good. That's something I should have checked. But okay. Do you have any thoughts about like?
On for me if you want.
Do what?
You can put subtitles on for me if you want,
Oh, yeah.
Got a strong accent as well, obviously.
Nah, you're good. I can understand you perfectly. Do you have any thoughts about how the map plays in general? Because you said you had some pretty strong opinions on this map, and I'm kind of excited for them.
Yeah, so I think, as I say, it's small, and that provides very rapid feedback. So I think, on some maps, your macro, your build choice takes a while to play out. You might not necessarily know immediately if you've slipped up on, you've built a tank on the left rather than the right or something, and that's going to come in 3 turns. When you get to the front, you can be, in problems. In this map, you build your tank, you hit something with it the next turn, for the most part. And I think because of that, I think you have this opportunity to invite your opponent to do things, to respond to you, and if you're inviting them to respond to you in a way that's favourable to you, then you can take control of the match really quickly, and that's what I think the recon opening does. So I like to go recon opening. I'm penguins in this one. I like to go recon opening at the top, and send it left, because I think those those corner bases, the top left and bottom right, they are the weak bases on this map. The ones that are easy to flip quickly. So I think by building that recon and sending it left, I'm inviting my opponent to build their first tank, the top right, and I think that favours me, because then we get fighting going by their weak base next to my strong base. So that's the theory. Obviously, I am the humble, 1050 elo. So.
Well, hey, I lost 100 elo in a month, so I don't know if I should be having any opinions. But in my experience, I always push like this base right here if I was in this position, because the tank goes all the way to this city after the base. Whereas I think over here it can go here. But I guess that's still like kind of 2 turns away. But let's see what happens. Let's get right rolling into this amazing Advanced Wars Bioweb action. Polychate Girl is, I think, rated like upper 900s. And you are rated 1050.
I can't remember what they were when we played this, but I think they're hovering upper 900,000 or something. Yeah.
Gotcha. I think that's like the median, right? Is like upper 900s.
Yeah. No, I'm not sure. But something like that. I've not actually looked at the ranking in the
the
little graph. I don't think there's I don't know. You might tell me differently, but I don't think there's a lot of like early capture path choices in this. I sometimes see people go for that city that you pointed the tank to earlier.
Yes.
But for the most part, I don't think there's a huge amount of. There's not like an interesting variation, really.
Yeah, I agree. There's pretty much only one path forward, although I usually send my second infantry over here and get this one, because I find that if I don't get it early, I don't get it at all. But also getting this early is pretty important, because red can contest that quite easily as infantry. Yeah. It's only like 2 or 3 turns away for infantry to be able to stop it, so I think it's just a matter of personal preference. Yeah, and this infantry right there is covering it, but I don't...
Yeah.
I think Jake is fine going into that, because you are Grimm. So let's see. Okay, going after the airport. So yeah, one thing here, I think you could send this guy to the airport, and it's like that's the natural capture chain. And then you could, I'm not sure what you do because I didn't check the rest of the turn. You could send, so this guy goes to airport, this guy starts here, and then this guy can like go on the mountain. Or perhaps protect. Over here. Yeah, and protect. Or go.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think that probably was a slight misplay from me. Probably because I was planning to build the recon anyway, which obviously defends quite nicely.
Yeah.
Recon...
Okay.
Oh, I did. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought I base skipped in that, but no.
So yeah, that's a good. Oh yeah, no, you didn't base skip. Yeah. So recon build. My opponent did this against me, where they just kept spamming recons. But Sasha doesn't care about recon spam because she can just build so many tanks. But yeah, I think you could have started this and then like kind of force Jake in, and you've been able to get those good trades, and this would fall eventually. But I like the positioning of this guy right here because he's in range of literally everything, so that's a really good flexible positioning.
Yeah. I think with the infantry, certainly with playing as Grimm, I feel you've got to preserve your infantry numbers and health.
Oh because, yeah, for sure.
Your ability to wall is so poor anyway. You need your full health infantry. Getting first hit, or even like plain on city, getting first hit is not good.
Yeah, I wonder how much a Jake tank would do to like an infantry on a shoal.
I think it wants it.
Yeah, let's see, Jake. I can just do this, right? And then change that to tank, change this to planes. Oh yeah, that's a really high chance to one-shot.
That's without the comm tower. That's without the comm tower as well. So.
Oh yeah, so when that comm tower goes in, everything's just gonna get obliterated. But I mean, so far so good. I don't. The recon's going over here. Nice strong presence, so forcing out a tank or a mech from Jake over here. But Jake will have 9k, so probably a tank.
Yeah.
And getting that.
Obviously, the sacrifice for me there is I'm now getting my first tank a turn later.
Yes.
The recon.
Yeah.
But in doing that, as I say, I've invited my opponent to build that tank there, or else, sit back hard and defend hard in that corner.
Yes, and then you're starting this So Jake could. I mean, Jake would get the guaranteed 2-shot here because of Grimm lack of defense.
Yeah.
But Jake could also just ignore it, let it go through, and then tag this. But I think you can get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, you can't. So this is actually safe for Jake. So Jake could interrupt, but then it would cost Jake an infantry, and then Jake could get this. So we'll see what Jake decides to do here. And okay, goes for the interrupt. 5, 6, yeah, just Grimm moments right there where no comm towers, no planes bonus, and you still are down to 5. But that counterattack damage is pretty strong. Oh, okay, just goes for the clear out.
So it's curious to me that Polly chose to attack from the shoals and not the planes there, and as it also off before the contact.
Yeah, because this infantry is not going to be able to reach. Yeah, and before, that is a pretty new. Okay, there it is. But I don't know if that comm tower really cost anything because that was still guaranteed 2-shot, and it might have knocked us under
I just
4.
wonder if it could have been less, less counter damage.
Yeah. Okay, gonna start this. That's gonna go through, and now Jake's gonna make a play for this. So I think maybe you start this or this, and we'll kind of see what happens here. This
I'm always pretty conservative down in that bottom corner there because that is your weak base, and I think
yes,
I tend to play for time by just bunching up masses of infantry, and then if I can flip their base before they flip mine, we're in for a good time.
Yeah, that's a pretty grim way of looking at it, to be honest. It's just like that's how Grimm guy plays. Is he baits people in?
Yeah, he plays for time, plays for position.
Yeah. Do you know who Grimm guy is?
Oh yeah, no. I've known who Grimm guy is longer than I've known who you are.
Oh really? Oh, dang. Okay. Because I have a guess. I don't know if you saw.
Oh, sorry, no, not. Oh, I thought you meant as in had heard of them. No, I don't know exactly which player it is. I've watched some time ago Mangs's Who is Grimm guy.
Oh yeah, I saw that too, and there's a lot of comments saying who it is. That's who I think it is too, and I did identify all the players in APC too, so I think that means I have some idea of what I'm talking about.
Right, yeah.
So free infantry takeout, and then tank's not going to reach, and then your tank will probably just go chain to the recon over here.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get this. Jake would have to interrupt to stop you, which would just be silly.
Yeah.
So far an even game. And then nice move by Jake over here using the tank. But you might be able to fight this. And this is something I have trouble with in my games, is figuring out, okay, is going in, infantry or recon takes a shot, infantry takes a shot, takes this guy out, tank comes in, is this a worthwhile engagement? And I don't know how to calculate it without just busting out the move planner. Do you have any tips or strategies on how to figure out if engagements are good besides just brute forcing the move planner?
So I think the thing to think about is what you want out of the engagement. In this one, because he's capturing that 6 HP infantry, it's going to take quite a while before she's actually got the value from that city. So I think there's no, the actual value that I would want to get out of engaging there would be a hit on that tank, a favourable hit on the tank.
I got you.
Because in the 4 turns it's going to take that infantry to capture. A full health tank can do a lot more damage to me than that slight change in income. So
I got you. That makes sense. That's a really good way of looking at it. And that's something I need to look at it more. Okay, so boldly going in here. Looks like these two are going to try and pounce on this guy, and then starting this, but you, of course, will have the chance to interrupt it. And then tank coming out from over here, which I disagree with. Let's see.
Yeah, I think that's just slow base.
Yeah, I think the tank out of here would be a lot better. I think the tank out of here was...
tank to do anything.
Yeah, I think the tank over here was to counter if your tank went over here, but your tank is clearly going to go this way, just based on the board state, in my opinion. So I think a tank out of here was a bit too much, and tank should have been here, and then could have pressured either of your 2 weak bases.
Yeah, I think that's a easy trap in this map to try to spread yourself around too much.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. I lost a really embarrassing game because I was instead of attacking from the middle, I'm going to defend from the sides because I'm I'm gonna break the meta, and no, that was not.
No.
That did not work out for me at all.
Yeah, definitely offense is the best defense on this map.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so going in for the shot, and then this infantry. Yep, you already know that guy's gone. Clears that guy off the woods. Infantry's gonna start the capture, and then you will. And this is a nice little wall here that Jake will not be able to get through. Out. Oh, I don't know if Jake can crack this.
Well, and the 6 HP, yeah, I hadn't considered that.
Yeah. So let's see. Could knock you down to a 4. So if you're a 4 and this is a 6 attacking from this square. Oh, man.
Yeah.
So Jake could actually clear this guy and take that shot. Let's see. Okay, going for this. That at least forces this guy to respect the threat. Takes a shot there. 5-7. A good interrupt there. The 6-7 guy in the comments is going to be really disappointed about this one. But, oh, he goes in. He goes in. Takes the shot. Knocks it under 4. Oh, he did it.
He does take the shot.
He does it. He does do it, but you have a nice tank chain, whereas Jake doesn't. But Jake will be able to get that tank shot. A nice little plains tank shot there for Jake.
I don't think it's a great idea to do it, though.
Yeah, because Jake doesn't have backup. But this is still a good clear out. And it does kind of break your wall a little bit. And oops.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to, like, move it without, like, highlighting everything. There we go.
No, I know. It happens to me all the time.
And bang. Yep, that was going to be a one-shot. Big ouch. So far, pretty even game. I wonder if, like, the stats will show up. I don't know. It, like, never works for me. But I think Jake is up a couple of infantry. And then the tank's actually going to go down here. But you have more pressure in the middle with these tanks. This tank's covering here, which is good. And then this tank's actually too far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So Jake's actually playing pretty good.
That was me gambling on them not interrupting their capture, right? So.
Yeah, but you are able to get a couple infantry for your troubles there. And oh, not even shooting here, just gonna have the tank do it. That's smart. I would have instantly shot that infantry there. But yep, tank, that's gonna be a takeout. Bang!
Yeah.
And going in for the interrupt and the mountain shot. Grimm does not care about defensive terrain right there.
Yeah. That's as long as I'm getting the first shot, I'm happy, you know.
Yeah. Exactly. This is why, like, I think, like, a lot about playing, like, against Grimm is, like, knowing how to play as Grimm, you know, because you figure out what Grimm cares about.
Knowing what he wants.
Yeah. And then you're going to weaken that guy, which is a good idea. This city is going to go through. Oh, you could have used this 4 to interrupt this. Probably knock that thing down to, like, an 8, which stalls the city for one more turn. I don't know if that would be worth it, though, or if it's just better to go for damage on that guy.
I can't remember what my thought process was on shooting that infantry.
Okay, but...
You know, just felt like the right idea at the time, obviously.
Yeah. But now this infantry is going to capture this city, and the tank could interrupt it for pretty much free, unless this tank rotates up. But this infantry is going to cap this, so it's going to be like an even trade there. You guys are capturing each other's cities. Okay,
so this, I think, is where that rapid feedback thing comes in.
Yeah.
And now they've got to make a choice on, you know, does she want to sack the tank to keep the city, and we're gonna, you know, make that choice, get instant feedback on it because it's so tightly wound up. You know, that tank's come off the factory, it's immediately got a choice to make, and it's immediately going to face consequences.
Yeah, and that's especially in like chess or something, you can overcomplicate the position if you trust your intuition, and then just like, you know, try to force your opponent to make a mistake. Whereas like if it's a really simple position and there's only one good move, well, your opponent's going to take that move. But forcing this tank to make a decision is, I think, the right move for sure. And then you're starting this cap as well, and Jake does not have the infantry to stop it. So maybe this tank can go here. This tank, oh, your tank's actually safe from getting shot.
Yeah.
So it could be like this tank goes here, this tank goes here, and then another tank. And then at least as far as Jake is concerned, like, you're fighting within base range. So Jake could feel pretty confident about keeping that fight. And then maybe this tank can be uncountered over here if you keep building stuff. But you also have enough for a copter if you base skip. Oh, there it is. The Giga Chad Grimm artillery. There we go.
Necessary on this map.
What's that?
It's not optional.
Yeah, not optional. So what was your thought process behind this as opposed to building like another tank or base skipping for a copter?
So I think I've got the read. I think at this point the poly was going to go and interrupt that city capture, so I'm going to get a decent hit there. So I think I'm in the position here to take good tank trades. At which point the artillery can roll up unthreatened and get that base lock. And particularly, I'm keen. The sooner I can get that going, the better. Especially given that they've not started pressuring any of my bases in the same way.
That's a good point. I definitely agree with that. And you're starting the lab, but obviously you have to capture both labs in order to win. Whereas
I mean the lab is
safe.
a false friend in this. You know, people start capping your lab, and you know everyone gets scared. Actually, there's two labs. The second lab is very hard to capture. Lab and center hard to capture, especially if you are concentrating on anywhere else on the map. So I never worry if I'm 3 labs to 1 on this map.
Yeah, and it's always really easy for this base. Infantry or mech just hops on here and just blasts whatever's sitting on there. Okay, so Jake is going to do that tank play. Takes out the 2 HP infantry. And this tank is going to come up, put a lot of pressure on your base. There's the interrupt. And these infantry are going to get picked off. And the 5 goes over here to get healed. So it looks like Jake's doing pretty good over here. But that's because you're like investing up top where you're strong. And Jake's got a lot of cities. Jake's up 3 cities right now. But it looks like you will be able to get this no problem. And perhaps even this one as well. And this one. So I think it's pretty even right now. What would you say?
Yeah, no, I think so. I think while the bottom right corner I'm outnumbered, by unit value, it's not actually that far off because all they're badly injured infantry. I don't think maybe that neutral city's gonna get flipped. That's not the end of the world.
Yeah, and and you're gonna get this as well, and then that 7 HP is gonna get picked off, and the 1 is gonna be a nice blocker perhaps. Yeah. At least it's another target for Jake to have to shoot at. Picking off a few. We don't care about mountains. And then bang, going in on the tank, allowing this tank to come in and finish it off. Also protecting the city, but this 2 HP is not going to do anything anytime soon. Yeah. And then there's the artillery and the copter. So already you're putting a ton of pressure on Jake's left base with all these units coming in. And then this tank actually can't reach. So we're going to see... And then Jake can't reach this either because the recon and 4 HP are blocking. Yeah. So we'll see how Jake counters. Now, one thing Jake could do, instead of just trying to defend over here, would be to counterattack and get like this corner or something like that. Especially with this tank can shift down and then build like a copter or something. Put a lot of pressure over here and then base trade.
Yeah. We get close to a base trade here, and this is the point when I looked through this replay earlier. It was the point where I questioned am I good? Was my strategy good? Or did my opponent just fumble it?
That's the real question. That's what I ask myself every single game. Every time I win, I was like, so am I smart?
We'll see what you think when you see it. But...
Yeah. Okay, so tank's going to take out the recon and knocks that 1 HP. What's that?
So pleased with that. The recon got so much value. I'm very pleased with it.
Oh yeah, it definitely did. It stalled out like these 2 cities. It killed a couple infantry. That's definitely worth the 4,000. And actually tanking infantry. Going in. Yeah. But Jake does not have the follow up to keep going in. Yeah, this infantry is too far. But a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. This does force the copter away to have to take a shot here, but it is going to get good value for you. You got Knuckle Duster coming in. And these weakened infantry probably going to get picked off by your infantry to keep this neutral. You might start this, but I don't think you'll be able to get away with that. I think Jake just has too many units in the area. And then this guy's not going to make it for sure. That's 0% chance that guy lives with these 2 infantry right there. But okay, copter coming out, and then tank and infantry probably. Yep. So do you agree with this build, or what do you think Jake should have built here?
See, I'm not sure. I think maybe the tank in the top left. I think actually with that artillery positioned where it is, with the units, with the infantry and things I've got to block movement, I think that base is as good as. I would not be investing more in that base, especially given that there's no reinforcements coming. Right? If Polly wants to reinforce the top left, they've got to do it through past my top base, which they're busy trying to kill instead. So there's no help coming. I think that base is dead. I think there needs to be. I think the tank needs to be in the center or something.
I got you. Yeah, I concur. I also think maybe an anti-air here wouldn't be the worst thing ever because it can one-shot all these infantries. It can kill the low HP tank and do a lot of damage to artillery.
There would have to be a base skip or a join to get that.
Yeah, or just not building the copter and you build a tank down here instead.
Yeah, that's true. But I think offense is the best defense. I think if people put their minds to it, bases are going to get traded on this map, and I think it's worth accepting that and just racing to be the first one.
Yeah, I agree.
Games.
I agree. I think the tank here is way too much, and then the copter here is going to take a shot. So anti-air here might have worked out, but you could have still like take out this tank with the copter and this tank, and then like try to block an anti-air in. So I don't even know if the anti-air would even work.
Block very easily there, yeah.
Now maybe a missile truck on the other hand. You don't need to worry about that getting blocked in.
Yeah, missile truck would have been the optimal play. You know, it's the one time where definitely.
Uh-oh, a knuckle duster coming in, and that thing's gonna die. Oh, it's at 1, but 4 HP probably will be able to take it out, and copter knocks that thing down to 2. Let's see if 1 HP tank, okay, trades itself for damage. 2 HP infantry, just blocking.
No, I need the block. I can't be risking that. I need the block.
Yeah, you have to block
if
that.
If that 2 HP's on 11% or something, I could have lost it. That would have been very sad.
Yeah, exactly. And then, okay, blocking with, and taking that tank out with a 4. So, great job. And then that artillery is going to base log, yeah. Oh, Jake is in some big trouble right now. There is block rock coming, but Jake doesn't have a lot of vehicles to take advantage of it. Takes out that infantry, as we said. And you got to be careful about the lab threat. Well, actually, you don't, because you have this one. Even though this one's falling. This lab is pretty safe. So Jake kind of overextended over here, but also these infantry could prove a threat on your base, so you gotta be careful about that. And there's a tank, and okay, not going in over here, so you're defending the city from far away, which I think is smart. You could go in for some pickoffs, but then those infantry would just get traded, and then that this city I think would fall after that. But doing this, you're like trying to force Jake into your territory, which I think is a good idea.
Yeah, that's the way that Grimm infantry needs to go. Needs to be 1 tile outside threat range.
Yeah.
Again, I think perhaps actually Cole would have been a much better pick than Jake here, because, you know, that movement burst counters Grimm a lot better.
For sure. Yeah, I think...
And also, they've not built any artillery, so, you know, why pick Jake?
yeah, that's true. Well, Jake does have +2 movement with the super, but I think Cole, if you want to, like... I think Cole's just objectively better on this map because those movement powers. The roads, not too useful, but I think those, like Cole being the discount Walmart clearance aisle adder, like I think that proves really well on this map.
The adder we have at home.
yeah, Cole's adder at home. Okay, so starting the airport, and maybe this infantry could block for it over here perhaps, and that airport could get flipped. No, this infantry is going to just capture this right here, and copter moves up even. So there's a lot of pressure on your base. 1 HP tank can't take that out. Gonna shoot that. That's, I mean, fair enough. Keeping it out of artillery range and taking out infantry there takes a shot. That's going to heal back up to 7, so I think you will win that.
Yeah. But I think, you know, there's a blunder made this turn, actually, in that by trying to capture that city next to my base, they've let my tank out, and I think putting the infantry on the forest and trapping the tank on the base would have been much more effective. You know,
that's very true.
I can use the tank to interrupt that capture anyway. So,
yeah, that's incredibly true. And then you're blocked in, so this copter can take a shot. So you either have to build like a medium here, or you have to build like an
build or something.
Yeah, or you can't even build an AA. So yeah, I think blocking that in would be really good. And then that guarantees the airport. I guess, the copter can't even go.
Yeah, airport's guaranteed,
Yeah, so Jake really has some pressure here. I've never seen this middle base get traded.
No, this was the gambling moment of this game, where
Yeah.
I gambled on that's where I'm gambling. Is my strategy good? Is my opponent bad enough?
Yeah, but now we see a copter chain coming out from Jake, and these copters can just fly over the mountains and hit this base. So this could be real bad, but let's see how you react. Artillery, yeah, already taken that. Gonna cap that city, so now you're only down 1 city. Could be 2, but I think you can punch through that pretty easily. Gonna use your 1 HP to get the clear out, and there it is. The base has fallen. And gonna even take that shot for good measure. Oh, down to 3 HP. That tank's a goner next turn. And gonna take a couple shots. Take out that infantry there on the plains. Gonna take out these weakened infantry, which allows these 2 to get picked up. Let me see. Okay, so you leave this guy back here.
Messed that one up.
Yeah. Just a slight inaccuracy. If you attacked with this guy first, you would have had that guy available to get a second shot on this and definitely cleared that infantry out. Just a small minor thing. Oh, there it is. The big medium tank. So if Jake blocked your base, I guess the player is a she, but I just say he because it's Jake. But if Jake blocked your base, you could have deleted your 6 HP tank and still built the medium.
But then they would have got. Well, sorry, they wouldn't have got sleep. But I wouldn't have had the 6 HP tank hanging around.
Yeah, exactly. And it would have forced like you would have to react there, because this copter is going to be a big scary threat, and then this copter could come in, take a shot. This copter could come in, and then this gets flipped to bomber maybe. You have to save up for it, but that would definitely clear out that base. So Jake can worry about losing this if Jake can flip this.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of points here in this game where small micro differences could have really flipped it around.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, there it is, the block rock. But there's only really 2 vehicles that can take advantage of it.
Yeah, it doesn't do a huge amount. They get a nice to hit somewhere. Oh, that's on an infantry though, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not even getting amazing planes hits or anything.
Yeah,
I think this is I see the super, I click the super kind of.
Exactly, yeah, I agree with that. And then this infantry shot on the planes, but it was weakened, so it couldn't do a whole lot. And then that tank's gonna shoot at that. I mean, what else are they gonna do? I at least agree with that. Infantry coming in, trying to do some damage, and now copter can't really trap you in, but does great damage there with the planes.
Yeah, that's the plane shot. That was pretty nice.
That was a good use of the block rock. Gonna take that guy out on the lab. Might as well do that with the 2. And oh, nice plane shot there with the copter. And then that 1 HP tank picks off that infantry. That tank sacrificed itself for damage, but that's good damage. It was on the planes. And I think let's see, Jake went another copter and a tank out of the middle. So I think Jake might be with this tank might be trying to go over here. Jake could have built an artillery to pressure the medium, but it's just way too slow, I feel like.
Take a long time to get there, yeah.
Yeah, and by that time...
I think that copter shot on the infantry, I think that was a blunder. I think that copter needed to go way further north. That infantry wasn't threatening a lot of that infantry, and now that copter is 4 or 5 tiles further away from the action than it could be.
Yeah, if that copter were to go here, it could sit on this, and then your medium tank would just be trapped. You'd have to build an AA, but that's not really a problem because this tank could go back, get healed, and then hit the AA if you built it. So, and then also like this airport right here. But yeah, if this copter could come in, take a couple shots, and also cover from your copter right here, and I think Jake could put a lot of pressure on this area, and then you would have to like convert all of these and then like try to take it back. But Jake is I think has the right idea, just maybe not executing optimally. And then artillery is going to cover pretty much everything, although Jake will be able to get a couple shots on it. And the artillery is not going to cover if Jake were to build an air unit right there. But you do have a copter in the area, so take out that guy. And then you're going to pick off some of these weakened infantry over here. And start this. Which, I mean, right now, well, it's not guaranteed. This guy can hit this, and then this guy can hit.
It's just, if you're going to move on to a city, you might as well click the capture.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a mistake. It's just not going to go through. Okay, Jake is going to start the lab. And then there's the anti-air right here. So now all you have to do is punch out, which will be really easy to clear one of these infantry off the roads because you're Grimm. And then the AA will be free to lock down this.
Yeah.
So we'll see how Jake reacts. So let's see, it's day 12, and let's see how Jake reacts to this AA. Okay, gonna pick off these weakened infantry. Doesn't stop the cap. It doesn't really have to because that 3 is not going to go through anytime soon. This guy is not going to probably just shoot for damage or something. Copter is going to go chain, but with that anti-air could be a bit of a problem. Take out that 1 HP tank, shooting the artillery, and okay, so you are kind of.
I was gonna say I think there's a couple of I think there's a couple more blunders from Polly from this one, but actually I think from this point in my mind the game is kind of sealed in my favor.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I'm probably going to keep that base in the middle. Got their base at the top. There's nothing they can do about that now.
Yeah. The copter is in range of your anti-air, and it's not quite covered by the tank because this 1 HP is blocking. Although that 1 HP could get taken out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's actually not covering
it's just
that.
painful. It's just painful for Polly's copters to be shooting infantry, 1 HP infantry, 2 HP infantry, right?
Yeah, and then your units aren't even really blocked in because this artillery, this medium tank could clear this out, and also the 7 HP.
If that 9 HP infantry had shot the artillery, actually I think I could have been blocked in the base. They could have put infantry next to the anti-air, the medium tank would have been stuck where it is, the artillery wouldn't have been able to break anyone out. I think actually, again, they could have put me in not maybe a losing situation, a much more painful situation.
Yeah, I agree with that. So we're going to take a couple shots, going to start the base, and probably that city right next to it. Yep. So you're going to get that. There goes that copter. That copter just did not get enough value. It did get a good shot on that tank in the middle, but there's the knuckle duster, and this could seal the deal here. Going to take those infantry out. Bang.
I think that was just knuckle duster for the infantry hits, really.
Yeah, but you are going to get some nice shots there. There's another anti-air to deal with the copters that are being spawned in by Jake on your airport. Your own airport is being used against you. Oh, great tactic over here. Blocking in the tank. You're not going to trade out that tank or anything, but it does stop the tank from trading up everything up here. So let's see what Jake can cook up. And okay, going for a shot. I mean, I think the tank would be better off, once this infantry gets cleared out, the tank would be better off going up here and trying to help out with all the action. But now Jake is trying to attack your base in the corner, but I think it's too little too late. There's no infantry to take advantage.
Yeah. No, I think it is the thing with this map is, the fights take place in their own little corners, and you need to make sure you've got the right units in the right corners.
Yeah, exactly.
Their vehicles kind of went up and down, but actually at no point did they threaten my weakest base with vehicle. If you watch you can watch back the whole map, at no point does a vehicle attack anything in the bottom right.
Yeah.
Which I think is, whereas they were shooting me in the bottom left, but there's no infantry to capitalize on that. Sure, they can kill the...
Exactly, yeah. And so what if they block this base? Like, you already have everything over here. You're already getting this one, and you're breaking out in the middle. Like, blocking that base.
Yeah, it's like 70% of their army value there, fighting 2.5 infantry.
Yeah, and you're gonna just take out another copter. That anti-air getting insane value. Maybe this 5 is gonna block this tank from going up, but there's really nothing much you can do or have to do down here in the bottom left. Going to use the 1 HP to take that out, and there's the anti-air trading out that
only
copter.
1 HP on 1 HP engagements in this game.
Yeah, that's the Grimm effect right there. Is everything's at 1 HP. Gonna start this even. I mean, that could get interrupted, but again, it's a copter shooting infantry and even a tank over here for good measure. Why didn't you build a tank here instead of an anti-air?
Well, the copter's not going to get there until next turn, so I can build an anti-air next turn if I need to.
Okay, that's fair. That's a good reason. But there is no next turn because Jake resigns. What a game!
Yeah, great map, great CA.
Especially
it's so different
CO.
from those giant maps like New Kids on the Block or Ironforge Patches or whatever. We got all the mountains, and it's 3 turns between building a vehicle and it getting anywhere.
Oh
There's
yeah.
this immediate feedback, and I think that's what makes Grimm good. Is, you know, the moment you can take the tiniest bit of control. There's a word for it in Go. I can't remember what it is. It's like a Japanese word for, you know, initiative essentially. The moment you can take the initiative with Grimm, you can enforce trades where you want them.
Exactly.
Suddenly, that massive attack power is looking very tasty.
Exactly. I agree with that. Well, thank you for hopping on. I really appreciate it. I had so much fun, and I learned a lot.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Have any final thoughts?
No, I think I've pontificated as much as I wanted to. I'm sure better players will be shaking their heads while they watch the video. But, I've had a good time.
That's the usual experience for me.
As you know, it's nice to have. I think it's nice to have casting coverage from all levels of the Grimm. You know?
That is true. All right. Well, thank you so much for hopping in. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.